Welcome to Shorts Beyond Measure, where fashion, interiors, and psychology get the stylish, savvy, and slightly therapeutic touch.
We're Tara West, Caroline Baltz, and Allison Goldberg, a fashion stylist and two interior designers who are also trained as psychotherapists.
So let's get into what's trending, what's tired, and what's actually worth your time. Because good style and good decisions should never be short-lived.
Hello, ladies. How's your energy today?
Ooh, feeling good.
My energy is always a little over the top.
Well, my husband has been away for 2 weeks. Yes, 2 weeks. And I've been with two teenagers. And I was like, do I not spend enough time with my kids? Because they are so annoying. I mean, they laugh at me. I'm like, you're laughing at me. And they're like, you are so funny. You're trying to tell us what to do. I'm like, I'm yelling from my bed. But wow, teenagers are so funny and hard at the same time, right?
It's so challenging. Oh my God. I know. And they can be,
Oh my God. And my son, so whatever. My husband usually cooks. He's gone. So I've had to be like really creative. I'm like, I should have just hired a chef for 2 weeks. But anyways, so, it takes a lot. Plus I'm working and whatever. So I make dinner and they're like, oh, so what's for dinner?
That's every night in my house. You don't have
then-
to be a teenager to complain about the food.
And then at 11 o'clock, he's going downstairs to make another meal.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have boys that they eat everything. And I'm yelling at him, you're in the 8th grade. You're not in the 9th grade. It's time to go to bed. It's 11 o'clock. He's like, I'm so hungry. There was nothing for dinner. That's when I was like, you have to yell. You're in control. You're so out of control.
Yeah. At that point, you just want to go to bed, eat what you want, leave me alone.
He's been talking about me and laughing. So I drive him to school the next day and he's like laughing at me the whole way. He's like, you're so funny. Really?
I know. My kids bond over what a dork I am or how obnoxious I am or what I did wrong.
Oh my
or
God, that's
whatever.
how Tara and I bond too. We're like, Caroline's such a dork.
Oh,
That's good.
But you know what I say to them? I've always said this. I'd rather you come together against me and join as forces than to take it out on, like to fight with each other. Like come together, be mad at me. I don't care.
I'm petrified of my 3 kids, all big personalities, all loud, like coming together against me. I am screwed.
well, and you haven't quite hit full teenage. All 3 of your kids are teenagers.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
You're
boy.
gonna feel the pain. We're
Yeah.
here for you. We'll be
Well,
here
yeah.
for you.
I'm just going to move out for 4 years.
It is funny though because you spend time with your kids, but there's so much that goes on. But for the week before, I was traveling with just them, and now I'm home with just them, and I'm thinking, whoa,
Yeah.
we need a lot more activity.
Yeah.
It's intense.
I love my one-on-one time with each kid. Like I could do that all day long, but the dynamic of the 3 of them together, it might start off with good intentions, but it never ends well.
Yeah. My daughter flies home tonight from college. Oh, and intermittently she's calling me psychotic, like, and I'm just like, wow. But anyway, so tonight she'll be home. So back with 3.
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay. And when does Kevin get home?
I think he's coming home Saturday if he decides.
Kevin, I feel like you need another trip. Tara's got it. She's having a great
Yeah,
time.
That's when I leave
exactly.
Saturday night.
Yeah, you need a trip.
Anyways, Caroline, what are we talking about today?
Well, I think today we wanted to talk a little bit about this phenomena that's coming kind of into Instagram. People are talking about it more, but energy, people's energy. When I was a kid, it was like people would talk about Shirley MacLaine and it was like woo-woo weird energy, right? It was like, oh my God. And I find like I'm thinking about it more like it's much more mainstream, the kind of laws of physics and how they apply to psychology and how they apply to behavior. But like I don't know, done the work that I've done and how I feel really matters to me. And I pick up on people's energies. I'm super sensitive. I think for most of my life, I was trying to deny how sensitive I am as a person. So friggin' sensitive. And I'm sensitive to people's energies.
I can definitely pick up on people's energy, especially when I'm going to somebody's closet a lot of times people are not feeling so great about themselves when they call me. And I pick up on that so much. And you almost start to feel sad. And I'm like, I'm not sad, but they're sad. And I definitely pick up on energy. People can drain you when they have draining energy. Do you feel like that at all?
110%. And I'd like to go a little deeper. I need some therapy here, guys. So I am really, really sensitive to people's energies in homes, everything. And in my personal life, when the energy is chaotic or negative, I retreat. And it's really not beneficial to anyone. Like, I just go to my bedroom or whatever. I can't participate in it. How do I stay
So
present?
give
during
us an
that?
example, maybe. And it doesn't have to, like, just say, like, is it you have a situation with a friend or?
No, it's just like in my house. Like when the kids are fighting and the dogs are barking, I'm just like, get me out of here. Like if, you know,
You have
Yeah.
to remove yourself.
yeah, but obviously that's not a good way to participate in life.
Well, I'm wondering what triggers you.
Oh, interesting. What triggers me? I feel like I've worked so hard on positive energy and trying to like find the right way to be and present myself and live authentically that when people can't meet me there, I'm almost angry. I'm like, I've done all this work to change my energy and to use it for good, and you can't do the same.
So you have to lower your expectations of others.
Oh, I know. I did that. You know what's funny is I just like chat GP'd this because I use chat GP for GPT for therapy. And they told me the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I used to be like that. And I don't want to dominate the conversation,
No.
chime in, but
Take
I
it
used to
away.
be very much like that. I had very high expectations of
Mhm.
people, and I would get really upset or annoyed if people didn't meet me there. And it's not good. It's not good for
No.
you. And it also puts a barrier between you and other people.
Yes.
And in fact, my brother did that to me always. And we had this situation, and he did not like the way I handled it. And I told him, Jason, you're going to have to lower your expectation of me. And he's like, I'm going to have to lower it really low, like me, right?
That's what I would say too.
Right.
Jason,
And then-
when are we hanging out?
So then we didn't talk for a while, but then our relationship got closer. Because the truth of the matter is, he did have to lower his He does that to a lot of people in his life too. And then he's always mad. Like he's mad at people a lot. And the thing is people can only be where they're at. And if they're your people, then you accept that. And if they're not, then you don't.
I'm going to go cry in the other room now.
Does that make sense, Bev?
It does. It totally does. And I actually think, I've done a lot of yoga retreats. I'm a kind of a closet yogi, whatever. But one of the things that was said to one of these yoga teachers that I was at Kripalu and one of their conferences, they were like, okay, it's all well and good that you can be up there and be all zen and da-da-da. How about in the pickup line? How about in the kitchen when everybody's trying to get out to their sports thing and da-da-da and eat something before they go or da-da-da? She's like, how do you be zen then? And it's the challenge, right?
It's the challenge. And it's also just the expectation. So I always bring growing up, but growing up, I had this expectation. My dad was going to like one day pay attention to me and all this stuff. And I'd always get let down. And my uncle said to me one day, he's like, Tara, you got to lower your expectations. You expect that this is going to happen. So you constantly get let down.
Yeah.
And that's such a good point, because when we have an expectation of somebody or a situation, you just can't have it, because you ultimately will get let down, because it's probably not going to play out. Maybe not even play it. Maybe it'll play out, but maybe not even the way that you thought it should. Right. So then you're disappointed.
But you were a kid when he was saying this to you. Like, how did you actually let that go?
I mean, it's taken a lifetime.
Yeah.
Now it's only been probably about 5 years when I decided like I got to stop this, because it's like it's not helping me in my relationships.
How did that like feel? Did you feel relief?
I feel so relieved. I honestly, sometimes I catch myself, Tara, don't have that expectation of that person, because they can't live up to
Okay.
it.
So you're getting to my question. You're already beginning to answer it. But like, what's the micro of how do you lower your expectations for somebody?
I think you just have to know, you have to say to yourself, they are where they're at, which is whatever it is. Maybe this chaos in the house is because they're children, because you have a lot of dogs.
I feel like my husband is the chaos. but
Because your
sure,
husband,
it's the kid.
But like, just to use this as an example,
Yeah.
you can't control these people, the
Right.
dogs.
You can
the
only
kids.
control yourself.
You can only control yourself and your reaction. And so just take care of you. And your expectation of them is they'll do like, I mean, it's not like you can't tell them like, hey, quiet down or what, but you physically retreat,
Yeah,
right?
it's actually like, and I almost feel like the more I retreat, right? It's almost like a cyclical. Is that how you
Cyclical.
cyclical?
Yeah.
I have a master's, I swear. But like I retreat and I'm like, oh, I feel better. And then I retreat and I'm like, oh, I feel better. And then I eventually like retreat so much that I'm like, I'm so lonely.
Right. And then you leave yourself out of the situation.
Yeah.
And that's the point. So I think what you really have to say to yourself is in a situation like that, I can take care of me, but
Mhm.
I can't control the situation or that person. So
Okay.
my expectation is nothing for them. It is whatever they can give me.
Okay, so I'm think I'm getting this, but like the micro is it's self-talk.
Yeah.
It's a mantra of like they're doing their best. Let them, whatever you want to say, right?
But that might still not make you happy. And that's okay too. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay too. Like, you could still be upset about it, but you could be upset about it. And you could choose not to engage with these people. I'm not saying your family, but whatever it may be, right?
Yeah. Yep. Could we look at it from the lens of like systematic desensitization? Like if you want to retreat, what about if you set a timer and like, okay, I'm going to let myself
Yeah.
retreat for 15 minutes and then 10 minutes and then 5 or whatever. Like,
Like start at like a week and then we'll go down from there.
Well, no, you know what's funny is that you say that because as I've been with my kids, I'm like, wow, I actually thought that this morning when I was walking, I was like, wow, so long ago I would have been so mad at them because I've worked so hard to be like a happy home and everybody get along and I would have been upset with
Yeah.
the way that they're acting, but I'm not. And I think it's also because I know where they're at. They're teenagers.
Right.
Mhm.
And they are assholes. But they're not trying to be. They're just who they are.
they're
And so
testing. Yeah.
actually, it's so funny that that just came to my mind because I had that conversation with myself this morning. And I was like kind of proud of myself. I was like, yeah, because of my expectation before is, oh, I'm such a great mom and
Yeah.
everything is kumbaya. And, you
So
know.
zero expectations and you can't be let down. Lesson learned and we're out.
But that makes sense. And then I like what Caroline said is to give yourself the permission to take some time out if that's what you need.
With a plan to maybe reduce that or a paired stimulus, right? Like they say hand over hand. Like if you're in your bed, like make that paired stimulus of like I do this, and then when you're in the kitchen, you do this. Hand over heart.
Oh,
and
I like that
you
idea.
take that with you in that I want to take that feeling, but it has like a
This
mudra
is my
to it.
paired stimulant, guys.
I know for those of you listening, she just flipped the bird.
But
Surprise, surprise.
I think in life we have expectations. It's normal to have expectations of people and situations. I just think as you get older, you realize you just can't really because people can't deliver because they don't even know maybe what your expectation.
Right.
Or they're not capable.
Or they're
And I
not
think that
capable.
that's usually
You
the
brought up a good
situation.
point though too, which is the more work you do on yourself, the more high expectations you have for yourself. That makes it now you're in conversation with people who maybe aren't doing their work or are in a
Right.
different place, and that is real, right? That's like it's an elephant in the room, and it gets frustrating sometimes. So that frustration is, I think, valid for sure.
And I think that you and I feel like Tara as well, like we've all been on this trajectory and it's very similar of the self-growth. And it's frustrating when people that you care about are not on that same trajectory. And it's
very frustrating. But at the same time, I can say, and I can't believe I can actually say this, but I'm so happy with the frequency that I'm on because I can really tell for those who are not.
Yeah.
yes.
And I accept them for where they're at. I just can't necessarily engage with them all the time because I don't play those games anymore or I'm not
Yep.
in that state anymore. And I choose not to, if that makes sense.
Right. So when you say frequency, you mean vibrating at that frequency that's higher and more elevated because of the work that you've done, your energy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The energy. So
Yeah.
it's like I can't go back. And I certainly don't want to. And I'm not judging anybody for being where they're at, but maybe it's just not right for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Totally.
that takes a lot of therapy.
Yeah.
It's like $100,000 worth of therapy.
Or you could just pay for like a ketamine session. Like that's something on my bucket list.
This is true. But Allison, maybe try some of these and let us know how it goes.
I'll check back in next month.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
I'm saved.
coffee together in the morning or on a Saturday or something. Like we just want to have intimate spaces and then bigger spaces and entertaining spaces and flexibility among them.
I need one of those spaces.
The red room of pain.
Yes, exactly what I was
Come on
thinking.
over.
After my boob job. All right. Well, thank you guys so much.
And check out the Boxwoods at Westbourne.
Thank you.
That's it for this week's Shortlist. Thanks for listening.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, share it, leave a review, or let us know what's on your short list.
Shorts beyond measure, because the most important things in life can't be quantified.